Well, hello and welcome to another bulletin from Solid Gold. I've been out today filming for episode number 9 and we're the 2nd of May, so we're 5 months into the year, and I don't know what you think, but the weather still hasn't broken yet. It's very cold today. Overcast, and I'm just wondering when we're going to get any summer. Never mind, we were filming the narrative for episode 9 today, so that's well in advance. I'm just struggling to get decent days for flying the drone. Anyway, there's lots to tell you today, so let me crack on. I got a message from Jack Dodds, who used to live in Newbiggin, similar age to myself, and he wrote quite a lengthy message. As some of you will recall, what I'm doing in this series is asking people to write in with information, anything that I leave out, because obviously there's bound to be something that I miss, and asking all of you really to, if you've got any information, then write it in the comments below, and then other people can pick that up. But this comment from Jack Dodds, I wanted to relate to you. You'll see it underneath the episode on Newbiggin if you read it, but I'll just read it to you now. John, just found your channel and am enjoying the series. I just watched the one on Cresswell, that's episode 5. I was born and raised in Newbiggin like yourself, and I'm a similar age. I grew up in the East End, that's the fishing end of the village, on my nana's side, and I'm related to the Dent, Brown and Renner families. They are all well-known families in Newbiggin. My great-great-grandfather, James Renner Dent, crewed the Ada Lewis. That's one of the famous lifeboats that was stationed in Newbiggin. And my great uncle Thomas Dent was coxswain of the Richard Ashley, another lifeboat obviously. My great-great-grandmother was Alice Brown from Cresswell. The reason for writing is that you mentioned the brat holes in the rocks for fish and shellfish. You can find a number of them easily visible on the rocks at Church Point in Newbiggin, at low tide on the west side of the little bay. That's the little bay that immediately sits below the church. That area of rocks was always known as the Lobster Wells, so there is another derivative of the word brat hole. So this is, in Newbiggin they were called Lobster Wells. I always wondered how old they were, but the holding of crabs and lobsters until a viable number were collected for sale in my time as a bairn was in closed wooden boxes tied to Dan buoys off in the bay. So what he's recalling there is that in his day, so I'm 60 years ago, the lobsters and crabs were held in floating wooden boxes held in the water. And what he's saying is that the reason for those brat holes was keeping the catch fresh until there was sufficient, because they weren't catching them in huge numbers. So they would put them in there to keep fresh until they'd got enough to then take to market and sell. So there they are. They're not just in Cresswell, they're actually in Newbiggin as well. And I'm sure they would be all the way along the Northumberland coast. It makes sense that that's the case. So thank you, Jack, for that. Very much appreciated. And thank you for sharing the knowledge. It's been quite eventful today. Episode 9 is from Embleton, which is just to the north of Dunstanburgh Castle, up to Beadnell. And I couldn't quite understand on a 2nd of May, which is a Tuesday and a very cold day, as I've just said, how there was so many people there. And it turns out that a very rare bird has landed in here, right here on the Northumberland coast. For the very first time it's been spotted in the UK, and it's a grey-headed lapwing. Now, I'm not an ornithologist, but apparently this is the first time, as I say, it's ever been seen in Britain. And people today are coming from Scotland, Yorkshire, Lancashire. They're coming from all over as news spreads on social media to catch a glimpse of this bird. Now, I didn't see it myself, and I certainly wasn't capable of chasing after it today myself. But apparently the bird normally resides in Eastern Asia, China, India. A similar bird was seen apparently in the Netherlands last year. So whether this is something to do with climate change or just simply that the bird's been disorientated. But however, it caused great joy for the ornithologists of the northeast, and they're all piling in up the coast there to try and capture a glimpse of this rare bird. So that's all of that. The other bit of news I wanted to relay to you is that it's quite a mammoth project, this series, and there's quite a lot of work gone into it, as you know, and I just thought you might be interested. This folder here, and you can see the thickness of it, that is the scripts for all of the episodes so far. So that's episodes 1 to 9. And in this folder here are the remaining episodes and the scripts for that. So we're nearly there. We're about 3/4 way through the process. But you can just see the volume of work that goes into this, and that's not including the camera work and the post-production work and everything else. I am going to announce that the episode 7 will be released on Friday. Now, I know it's the coronation weekend, and then the following weekend it's Eurovision. So I'm not expecting hundreds and hundreds of views straight away. But if you want some alternative viewing, it will be posted on Friday. So hopefully you will enjoy that, as you've all been enjoying the episodes so far. This is my latest little purchase, my gimbal camera. So you will have noticed from the credits at the end that I've now included the gimbal, and this is because the broadcast cameras are very, very heavy to carry, and I'm just finding it too much to carry the things around. Now this is perfect because it literally fits in your pocket. It's actually called the DJI Pocket 2. Believe it or not, this tiny little camera has a processor 10 times the size of my broadcast camera. So it's perfectly stabilized, so it stays perfectly level wherever I move it, and the quality of it is amazing. I tried filming myself with it the other day when I was filming in Craster, and I've had to remove the footage because it is so pin sharp. I always spend some time being properly groomed and looking the part before I stand in front of the camera, and this thing picked out all the stubble and blemishes, and it just looked horrendous. I literally just had to abandon it altogether. But certainly for doing all the cutaways and the detail, it's absolutely perfect. So so there you go. So that's the latest purchase. Of course, you know, the drone, and I'm still using the broadcast cameras for doing the narratives. So that's it basically. That's all the news for this particular episode. Episode 8 has already been filmed, and that will be released probably in the first week in June. I'm still busy editing that, but whenever the weather allows, I'm trying to get out and do some more filming. And like I say, I'm repeating myself, I know, but today was good enough to film the narrative, but not good enough to fly the drone. So I'll have to wait for the next sunny day for that, and I hope that isn't going to be too long. So that's enough of me ranting on. I will see you all again very soon. Hope you enjoy episode 7. Incidentally, that's covering the area from Alnmouth up to Boomer. So Alnmouth, Foxton and Boomer. As I say, I hope you enjoy that from Friday onwards. So goodbye for now, and I'll see you all again very soon.